Alright, a couple business news stories and tech news stories for the week of February 29th to Friday the 4th, business week-wise, Monday through Friday. So, the first one here is Sports Authority files for bankruptcy early Wednesday morning and said it will close 140 stores, nearly a third of its total. Yikes. The company has 14,500 full and part-time employees at its 450 stores, and its offices, according to the bankruptcy filing. Nearly two-thirds of those workers are part-time. It's also disclosed more than $1 billion in liabilities and assets valued between $500,000 and $1 billion. Yikes. So basically, they're closing 140 stores, and about 14,500 full-time, part-time employees are being laid off. That's a lot. I didn't even see this one coming. I mean, because I haven't really shopped at Sports Authority in a while, but or at least it's been a long time. It's been at least 4 years since I even walked into one. But yikes! Basically, the company had arranged to borrow $595 million to fund its operations while in bankruptcy. But to pay off that loan and come out of bankruptcy, it is likely to find a buyer for the remaining stores because they can't count the money. That's pretty much impossible. This article in CNN Money, let's see. The company was bought by a hedge fund 10 years ago, and it was the largest sporting goods retailer, but it struggled in debt. Load associated with the leveraged buyout a decade ago has been overtaken by Dick's Sporting Goods, which has grown by providing a high more-end shopping experience. Yeah, I can kind of see that. Dick's Sporting Goods is pretty big. It's basically Sports Authority's just the latest retailer giant to fall on hard times as more and more shopping moves online, which is true. I mean, Circuit City went bankrupt. The article says here, talks about the Circuit City. Oh, wow, they talk about Circuit City went about. Okay, my scroll thing here. Hold on. About Circuit City, saying how it went bankrupt in 2008 and followed by Borders in 2011. Both eventually closed. And then Radio Shack obviously went bankrupt a year ago. And apparently American Apparel filed in October, although both companies remain in business with fewer stores. That's true with the Radio Shack and American Apparel. So, what is going to happen here? Online shopping is just going to take over everything and retail stores are going to close? I don't know. Seems interesting, but basically that should be interesting. Second story is Von Mauer. I wonder if I'm pronouncing that right. First time I've even heard of the company, but they're supposedly opening a store in Rosedale, Minnesota, here in the Twin Cities. This will be the second one here in the Twin Cities. This one's going to be at the Rosedale Center, which will be 140,000 square feet long. It's supposed to open up in the fall of 2018, and it's expected to employ 200 employees, and a majority of those being full times. That's a good thing. It's known for its top designer brands, especially apparel, store, shoes, and accessories and gifts. And that's really all that one has to say. But I don't really know that much about it. But so Von Mauer is coming to Rosedale. The other one, which I just heard yesterday on the radio, it's been a couple days old, is Ferrara Candy is planning to close its plant in Winona, which is the company that makes Lemon Heads, Red Hots, and Atomic Fireballs. 124 employees are going to be out of work at the end of April, and the company plans to move to production to another plant in Bellwood, Illinois, which I heard they have better equipment there and newer equipment than the plant here in Winona, which makes logically sense why they would close that. Let's see. And that also, hold on a second, stupid advertising. Also, they also had a huge fire at the one here in last month in Winona, which I guess it's minor damage to the building, but I mean, I can see why. But extensive damage to the machinery. Well, there's extensive damage to machinery. Probably don't want to replace it, and they want to lose money, so they're going to close the plant. Anyway, so that's the plant's old too. It was built in 1940 by the Scholler Candy Company. Sorry, my phone's going dead here, so hope I can get this done before that happens. The other thing is here, this, I don't know why Amazon will do this now with the whole thing with Apple and everything with the security and everyone, a lot of tech companies are backing up on them. Amazon is deciding to quietly disable the encryption on the latest version of Fire operating system, which I have no idea why they would do that. It makes no sense here. This article popped up on The Verge and basically says local stored data on Amazon Fire devices are no longer encrypted and they're just stored in plain text. Why? It makes no sense whatsoever. Anyone who upgrades their Kindle Fire, Fire Phone, Amazon Fire High Definition, or Amazon Fire TV Stick to Fire Operating System 5 will have local information left vulnerable to cyber attacks and stored in plain text. Again, why? And Amazon forum members first flagged encryption removal and were later followed by Twitter user David Scoveda last night. Encryption support on Fire tablet. Encryption support will soon be deprecated on Fire High Definition 4th generation and Fire HDX 8.9 4th generation. Here's what to do to ensure your data and other information are saved. Your device has encrypted data. However, device encryption is no longer supported in Fire Operating System 5. Follow the steps outlined below to save your data. You can stay on the current Fire, it goes on to say you can stay on the current Fire operating system until you're ready to upgrade. To return to this page at any time, tap the Fire OS 5 upgrade notification for the notification in the status bar on your device. But, which I'm still trying to figure this out, because the whole thing with Apple and the whole terrorist iPhone problem, the FBI, and now all these companies are backing up Apple, but Amazon wants to get rid of it. Why? I don't know. But basically, with the encryption stored with everything stored in plain text and not encrypted, most everything is up for grabs. They can see your local data, including application data, logins, credit card credentials, and JPEGs, photos, MP4s, videos, texts, and electronic mails. It just makes no sense to me. It says it's unclear why the company would choose to deprecate its encryption standards, and Amazon spokesman did try to clarify when we released Fire OS 5, we removed some enterprise features that we found customers weren't using, but also noted that this decision was made in the fall of 2015 prior to the over-the-air update that was released this past month. Still, why? It makes no sense why they would do this, but the company says there's nothing it can do to retrieve the data because it intentionally encrypts. Oh, this is talking about Apple, because it's talking about how Apple can't do anything to retrieve the data because it intentionally encrypts local data to keep users safe from all sorts of cyber threats. But Amazon has yet to file an ambitious brief in support of the company, though it said February it planned to do so. So they plan to support Apple about the whole iPhone OS being encrypted, and now all of a sudden, here we are, 2 days ago, the third day of March, and they decide, we're not gonna, the Fire OSs aren't gonna be encrypted, they're gonna be plain text. I don't know. Anyways, speaking of Apple, back to the iPhone 9. It says, this is an article on CBS News, Apple updates may let users know if the boss is monitoring their phone. Now, this is talking about all these ads, I tell you. Okay, no. Advertisings. Anyway, okay. A lot of companies equip employees with mobile phones so they can check work, email, and keep in touch with the office, yes. Now, Apple is supportively going to... but the problem with that is... let me go back here. The problem with that is that employers can manage to see what you're doing, what photos you take on your videos, emails, all that stuff. Now, Apple is reportedly to make it easy for people to know if their boss is spying on them. The next update to the mobile operating system, iPhone OS 9.3, will include a message to let users know that their phone is being supervised. According to TechBlog, 9T05 Mac reports, although it is not a secret that most company-administered iPhones are locked down in some way, current iOS versions do not prominently indicate in this kind of control taking place on the device. Okay, Apple is giving the user ultimate transparency in how their device is being exposed to their employer. Now, yes, employers want to see if their employees are doing anything wrong with a company-issued phone. And I guess Apple is taking this to the next step after the whole San Bernardino shootings, and that whole issue. So, I mean, this whole thing between Apple and FBI isn't going to end, and this is going to go on for months. I can guarantee you that. That's for sure. I mean, I don't know what they're going to... I mean, it's probably going to go till the end of the year, probably. And then, and then the debate, now with the president's debates and everything, that's going to go on. That's going to be the number one topic till the elections in November, and it's just going to be fun and watching this. Alright, and now the final story here is Microsoft, according to Extreme Tech, Windows 10 operating system is being slow. Adoption is being slow, despite Microsoft's best efforts to do so, and they want people to update to it so quickly because of the backlash for 8 and 8.1, which I can understand. But basically, it says here on this article in Extreme Tech that last month, which they did, Microsoft made Windows 10 a recommended update rather than an optional installation because they want people to update to it now. Since users don't configure their systems to block the update, they would find Windows 10 waiting and ready for installation. New data suggests that Microsoft's decision to flip the particular switch may not have had the impact the company had hoped for. According to 3 separate vendors who track operating system market share, all see signs that Windows 10 adoption is slowing down. Is slowing down. Computer World. This is from Computer World, and apologize for how I can't pronounce anything at the moment. I've work and school. It's been a long week. Net applications report Windows 10 is on 14.2% of devices. A 1.1 point increase from January. So, from 2 months ago, 1.1 point increase. Computer World's own metrics imply that Microsoft has only recently breached the 200 million installation mark with Windows 10, despite claiming to have reached this in January. It's not all bad news, though, because Windows 10 is officially now more popular than Windows 8 and 8.1 combined. Wow, combined. That's kind of good, although people hated 8 because the charm bar in 8.1 it was a little bit better, but people still complained. I didn't have any problem with it because, well, with Windows or Linux or anything like that, I just do everything through command line or different programming languages and Bash and Linux and stuff. But to the average user, yeah, I can see how it'd get frustrating. Checking my battery. Basically, what this could mean for Microsoft is Microsoft has now enabled the ability to push Windows 10 as a recommended update, but some users will skip the upgrade because they aren't sure if it's legitimate. Some won't see it because their system isn't set up for automatic updates, or some are undoubtedly skipping the offer because they aren't happy with Windows 10, which I've used it so far. I haven't had any problems with it. It's a decent running operating system for Microsoft. I don't know. But as usual, Microsoft is ambitious to get people to upgrade to Windows 10. The degree to which this will work depends on how easily Windows applications move between desktop and mobile. To make Windows 10 so it can leverage one ecosystem to try and kickstart another, which is a good idea. And at least, let's see what else. According to this, they're also wanting to, at least in gaming, it doesn't appear to shift well between desktop and mobile, and at least not compared to the advantages of a platform like Steam. Further investigation into the Windows Store and its gaming requirements is still going on. I'll post the hyperlinks, URLs to these stories below, and leave in the comment section what you think about them. I know that was kind of quick, but that's just the highlights of news between the 29th and the 4th. And have a great weekend, people.